Hi you guys, welcome to the weekly bump where we do a weekly pick a card reading for the energy for the week. It's a big week. We've got Sun moving into Pisces, we have the Mercury retrograde in Pisces, and we have a new moon in Pisces as well. So there's just a lot of this Piscean turnover going on as we close out the latest zodiac year, and we bring in the new zodiac year as the sun moves into Aries later on in March. So it's going to be an interesting week. Let's go ahead and put this camera down and let's get started. All right, here we have piles 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're using all aura quartz this week. We have a yellow, a green, a blue, and a purple. I also pulled out a little message stone for each pile as well, so we'll flip it over when we get to your pile. So go ahead, take a moment, intuitively pick your pile. You can pick all of them or just one of them. If you have a specific question, feel free to ask. And you can always ask multiple questions to different piles as well. All right, see you in a sec. Okay, pile number 1, here you go. You guys picked the yellow aura quartz. Your message is one of hope, which is really lovely. It's a good week to feel truly optimistic about where life is really carrying you. It's a good time to have faith and to surrender. It is Pisces season after all. It's a surrendering kind of season. So hope can be one of our best friends. Sometimes it can work to fuel our fear though, so you have to be careful how you're using hope. And if you are just open to the way that your higher self and your higher intelligence needs it to be, then there shouldn't be any obstacles really for you this week, which will be really great. So let's go ahead and pull these tarot cards. 6 of Swords, 8 of Wands, and King of Cups with the Chariot. Well, there you go. You have a lot of reasons to be quite optimistic and a lot of reasons to be quite hopeful. A lot of times we do have to have that faith that the Chariot really is taking us to a destination. Sometimes we really can't see what that destination is, and that can be very disconcerting because we can feel like things are out of our control, we can feel confused, or we can feel lost. However, the King of Cups has a very distinct focus on where he wants to get to in his life. This is a week truly of moving into that new realm. I think a lot of you are going to be feeling that healing, feeling like, okay, I've done so much work on myself. I've really put in the effort. I've really tried to grow. I've really tried to mature. And you have. And now you're starting to really see the benefits of those things. There might be some pretty quickly moving things that happen. You may have a conversation with someone. You may receive some kind of a message about something. But all in all, you have the real discerning quality of no matter what's getting thrown at you, you still are going to have to consider what's the best thing. You're really going to have to consider what makes the most sense for you and your life, and what is going to enable the Chariot to get you to where you need to be, and what is going to disempower that. So you have to discern, you have to be intelligent, and you have to be very black and white about what works and what doesn't work. King of Cups is powerful, but we know that he is also the king of transformation. He is fully capable of experiencing a great deal of things and using the experience from those things as a means to progress. All right, so this is a highly geared move, or highly, if I can talk, oh my God, Mercury retrograde, totally kicking my butt. It's a week highly geared toward movement. All right, so just a lot of movement, a lot of things opening up for you. Really not a lot of obstacles at all. And if there are things that come up, I don't know. I just think it's your hope, it's your faith that's really going to push things forward. We have the Sun, we have the Ace of Coins, and we have the Four of Coins. All right, well, we know the Sun is lovely. We know that there is a beautiful exchange that we have with the world when the sun shines down on us and when we begin to really receive those blessings. The Ace of Coins is the blessing itself. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you did get some kind of an offer. Maybe a job, maybe some kind of ex coming out of the woodwork, as often happens with the Mercury retrograde. If you get some kind of a phone call or something. But again, the discerning nature of the King of Cups is going to have that capacity to decide what stays and what goes. And you have to be really empowered to make those decisions. anyone this week who is feeling really flaky or just kind of out of their element and feeling really out of control, if you pick that pile, all you have to do is really just regroup and ask yourself, what's truly important to you? What is in line with these goals? Because I know you're hopeful that these goals will be achieved. I know you're hopeful that you'll get those things that you want. So you have to be the deciding factor, right? Like you have to be the bottleneck a little bit, but in a way that is good and that truly does empower you. Alrighty, so we have believe in the impossible with a blue moon. So the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Coins really can be the next step toward that seemingly really far off goal. Why not, right? It's Pisces season. The motto for my Pisces season is I believe. You might as well believe. You know, our thoughts, you know, really impose and make a difference in our emotional states, and our emotional states make a difference in our energetic frequency. So we need to be very conscious of the kinds of energy that we are emitting and the kind of message we're really sending out. And if you are hopeful and you are optimistic and you are fueling your faith, then those things become that much more possible for you. Oh, beautiful. A card of Gemini. Gemini is so balanced when it's maturely manifested, which I feel that it is here. Gemini is so much in unity with itself, and it balances the light and the dark and the inward and the outward. See, what I think is actually happening is you're having an opportunity to make sure that your outer world reflects your inner world. And because if you're feeling good and you're feeling empowered and optimistic and really hopeful and faithful about things, then the outside world will be like, okay, great, here's all the reasons to reinforce your belief. See, people who are sitting here believing that, oh my God, life is so terrible, life is so bad, so-and-so hates me, this is the worst thing that could ever happen in my life, they're going to have messages coming in that reinforce all that negativity. So what do you want to be reinforced in your life at this time? My guess is you want the good things. You want the Ace of Coins to be reinforced. You want the Chariot and the Sun energy to be reinforced. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are doing things and making decisions and acting in line to receive reinforcement of the good, to receive the reinforcement that you do deserve these impossible things, okay? Because you do. We have the Divine Feminine card, White Buffalo Calf Woman, the prophetess of the sacred way. My heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. And we have like the compass with the Chariot is such a beautiful connection because the Chariot is so directed. The King of Cups is so directed. There is so much focus on like a single point, right? That thing, that impossible thing that you really want. And I'm going to say impossible just because it's on the card, although we know it's not like technically impossible. It just seems so far out of reach because it might be far, or you may be perceiving it as being far from where you currently are. But yet you are using the inner compass here. You are using love of self, really. Love of self, self-respect, self-honor, honoring the divinity within yourself. And when you do that, that is when the powers of the earth, Ace of Coins and Four of Coins, can truly manifest in your world. So I think a lot of you are on the right track to making really good decisions about your finances, about your love lives. You're making really good decisions about your career paths, your children, all these wonderful things. So, I mean, this is an exceptionally positive reading. And then we have the Orca. Orca is a very unique energy. The songliness. I'm feeling like a power, like with the King of Cups. It's like this very deep water whale, like large animal, scorpionic kind of like power. And it truly is communication for the sake of accomplishment. I don't know that you're going to be able to really handle pettiness and superficiality this week. I just don't think it's going to be your vibe. You're not going to be really able to deal with people talking about nonsensical things. For you, if it is not about your goals, if it is not really about your dreams, or if it's not connected with people that you really love, then you're probably going to be pretty shut off to it energetically. But that's out of protection, right? Four of Coins. Because I think you're in this protective mode, protecting the sacred way. Because I think you know that the path you're on is pretty divinely inspired, and it's pretty much for you. Hopefully you are feeling really, really good about stuff. If you're not, it's going to be beneficial for you to take a beat and to really ask yourself, well, the things that I want, do I truly believe that they could be for me? Because if you're in a wavering state of belief, and you're using hope to fuel your fear by saying, well, I really, really, really hope that this happens, which is really a mask for saying, I'm so afraid that it won't happen. If you're doing that, again, remember that reinforcement will come. So you have to direct the reinforcement. And so this will be the first step. Being able to at least allow yourself to believe that it is possible for you, and to use that belief as a mechanism or a rule book, if you will, for your decision making. And if it's outside of the scope of that, I really wouldn't recommend spending too much time on it, okay? Pisces season is gonna get weird, all right? It's gonna get weird, so you have to kind of start it off with some oomph. And I like that orca energy, right? That killer whale kind of vibe. It's got some oomph to it. All right? Beautiful reading, you guys. I wish you absolutely nothing but the best. See you next week. Take care. Okay, pile number 2. You guys picked the green Aura Quartz. Now, the message stone that we have for you is a stone that says success. Well, that's a really great thing to get, because Pisces season is probably going to be a bit strange. There might be some weird things that happen this month. So if you keep your eyes on your goals here, you will be successful. Okay, so the first 4 cards, we have the Hierophant, 6 of Cups, 3 of Cups, and the 2 of Swords. This is the power here. This is the self-knowingness, all right? Some of you may have some mentors or coaches, some people that are maybe a bit more experienced than you. It might be a really good time to connect with them. You know, especially if you have questions about your life, if you have questions about really where you're headed and what you're doing. I'm feeling actually a strong institutional quality. This is super random. I don't know where the heck this is coming from, but some of you might be doing a lot of banking stuff this week, taking care of your taxes. Some of you might be dealing with some government stuff. And there might be some like business that you're doing with large scale corporations. And I don't necessarily mean retail, I mean kind of otherwise. But I think there's a lot of empowerment of taking care of business, I guess is kind of how I'm feeling. It's kind of like a very on point, doing what you really need to do, taking care of stuff, taking care of business, cleaning it up, that kind of vibe here. Just totally random kind of thing. So the Hierophant is you for you, and I think there is going to be a lot of self-focus for you, but there's a lot of kindness and kind of like some merriment going on here as well. Some of you may be spending time with your kids this week, you know, kind of doing the family thing. Maybe your weather is nice. Like I know I live in Vegas here and the weather is like so amazing. And some of you might be wanting to be outside. Now I know that not everyone is enjoying such wonderful weather, but maybe there is some things you can do with the people within your household. Others of you who are totally single and ready to mingle, you know, you may be just kind of wanting to go out with friends and go grab some drinks and, you know, a couple of tapas or whatever, and just connect, talk, gossip, you know, have fun, and just kind of find the merriment in life, because it's in such stark contrast with this Hierophant energy. That would be a really good thing for you to do. It's Pisces season, right? It's a Jupiterian, Neptunian vibe, and it's all about enjoying life and really just appreciating your spiritual experience here on Earth. And I feel that if there are any major decisions, that's probably why a mentor quality or an advisor is popping up, because if you are feeling confused or concerned about things, this is going to be a time where you can have your questions answered. This is going to be a time when you can feel at rest with your decisions. Some people may feel at a crossroads, do I take this job or not? That's the nature of Mercury retrograde, and it's amplified by the Piscean quality here. So you're like, okay, do I take this job or not? Do I do this or don't I? Honestly, get some advice, but if you don't feel entirely ready, just don't. Just don't, just relax. And you can make the decision either at a later date or another opportunity will come along. There's really not a lot of loss coming out here. Okay, so we have the 9 of Wands, the Lord of Great Strength. We have the 10 of Wands, and we have a double 2 of Swords. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this Hermetic Tarot deck because it's called the Lord of Peace Restored. And it's connected with the Libra balance, right? The balancing of the scales. We can see the Libra symbol up here. And I do feel like this is going to be a week where you can establish some balance and peace in your life, okay? Now, you might need that because maybe there is a reason for you to do a lot of work. Maybe all this merriment here is to help balance out some pretty demanding things going on in other areas of your life. Maybe at work, there's a lot of demand for your time and your energy and your attention. Maybe you have a lot of obligations this week. Maybe you have a pretty heavy schedule. Maybe you have some, things that you had been putting off and now really is the time to take care of it. Don't put it off. If you have things that you really just don't freaking want to do, just do it. Dive right in, because the minute you do, you're going to feel so much better. There's not a lot of reason to be resistant to that hard work, and I know it's Pisces season, I get it, but even all the more reason to just go after it like a bulldog and just take care of it, because then you just simply don't have to worry about it, and then you can feel that lightheartedness of things kind of, on the happy side of life. You and your loved ones are safe. Yes, all is good. All is well in the world. And I like the Cancerian energy with the 6 of Cups because there is that family component. Especially for those of you who have children. There's going to be a lot of enjoyment in that for you. Pisces season, it's such a healer's energy. Like the Virgo Pisces axis. It's so much about healing. Virgo is about healing ourselves. Pisces is about like healing our humanity, healing our universe, if you will. And when we tap into the healing parts of life, which family very much can be, we tend to feel recharged. We tend to feel whole and complete. And to know that you do have a safe place, to know that you might be the safe place for someone else, can help you to really fulfill those really important obligations that are of the world that we must do. Okay, so we have a card of Uranus now. Uranus is an incredibly intelligent energy. It has really high ideals though, and you may be feeling a little bit oppressed by these ideals that you have. Now, I said a lot about working, okay? Working and getting those things done. Just make sure that you're not purposefully overloading your plate because you are trying so hard to achieve so much faster, because I think that's going to really suck the joy out of life a little bit. The 10 of Wands is... it has a symbol of Saturn here. It is a very Saturnian nature, and it can be real heavy, and you can feel like you're doing things all by yourself. And then the Uranus aspect is just so incredibly, just with such high standards. And sometimes that can feel like the worst. But a lot of times we just do that to ourselves. You have a helper here with the Hierophant. You have friends here. You have people around you that very much love and care about you and that would greatly benefit from your presence, from your energy, from your life. Okay, so when it comes to how you're viewing yourself, and if you are in a mode of like push, 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 relax. Take some time, right? Take the weekend. Don't work extra hard. Just really breathe and relax and find that restored peace. All right? With the Divine Feminine card, the Mystic of Divine Love. Love is divine and I am nothing except love. Well, that says a lot, especially with the Six of Cups, okay? There is a quality of being love. Maybe some of these things, this 10 of Wands, this 9 of Wands kind of energy, feeling a bit pressured into things, is symptomatic of not being in your love space. And we did pick the green aura quartz, which we know that green is all about the heart chakra here. Remember that you are love, right? Remember that you exude that grace. And if you step out of that, and when you step out of your light, that is when things can feel very harsh, very real. You can step into the realistic nature of life. Okay, and then we have the jackal, which is the symbol of truth. I actually like the jackal because it's kind of like the Greek god Anubis, which we even have not the Greek, the Egyptian, I'm sorry, and it kind of looks like Anubis here. The jackal energy, kind of the protector of the underworld there, but it is the honesty. Uranus is real honest too. And you do have to be honest with yourself this week about where maybe you've been a little unbalanced, where maybe you haven't necessarily followed what your soul was really calling you to do, and to just allow yourself to get back on track, to follow the light rather than the hardship. You may actually be experiencing a lot of contrast in your life with the harsh 9 and 10 of Wands, with the 6 of Cups and 3 of Cups. So it was going to be like just a lot of contrasting things. Work could really push you a lot, and then you counterbalance that with the joyful things. Just don't forget that a lot of things aren't really that important, right? Like for reals. How many things that you do at work are really that important in terms of like humanity and your whole life as a whole? So it's not really necessary to get so worked up, and you're going to have to face or confront that kind of truth at some point, most likely within yourself, and be like, you know what I'm doing and what's stressing me out and what's causing me any issue really is not important. It is not worth the fight. It is not worth the sadness, and it's not worth my losing a positive attitude. All right, don't forget the message was success. All right, so this is going to be a successful week for you, specifically in establishing this balance. Okay? All right, you guys. Thanks so much. Take care. Okay, pile number 3. You guys picked the blue aura quartz. The message stone is dream. Beautiful. So this is going to be a good week to start visualizing kind of your next steps, right? Start dreaming about where you're really wanting to go, how you're hoping life will shape up in the next few months. Okay, let's see. We have the Death card, 5 of Wands, 4 of Wands, and the 3 of Coins. So I think you're pretty aware of things kind of, disappearing into your past. You're pretty aware that if there has been any healing going on, that you're kind of coming out on the other side of it. And as your energy has been greatly shifted, I think other people are feeling the effects. That's what happens when we change. Other people can feel it. They can tell. They can sense it. And if people aren't evolving alongside of us, it can create some friction. Now, we do have a Mercury retrograde, so there might be some miscommunication going on. There might be some struggle to get on the same page with someone, or maybe there's some different ideas about a project at work and people just really aren't agreeing. That is all okay, because it's all going to work out, okay? This Five of Wands kind of mess is going to be converted into a cause for celebration and a lot of collaboration. Three of Coins is one of my favorite cards because it's kind of the preface energy to the Ten of Coins, like kind of like the preemptive. Like you have to go through the Three of Coins place before the Ten of Coins can really become possible. And I think this Three of Coins is really good communication, but also heightened states of creativity. So whatever the debacle, okay, whatever the adjustment to the sun coming into Pisces, the new moon in Pisces, the Mercury retrograde in Pisces, people adjusting to that, kind of, you know, coming into the new vibe, it's going to actually benefit. So there may be a little bit of a struggle, but you will ultimately benefit from it. Now, if you are someone who is trying to go out and trying to accomplish something really cool for yourself, you may find that as you take the risks, you know, as you kind of put yourself out there, knock on doors you've never knocked on before, there will be some lessons, but that's okay. Lessons are great. Lessons are what happened when we are in a new skin. All right, we got to kind of get used to it. And you are, because this Death card is very clear that we have evolved. You know, that's what it really is. It's a symbol of our metamorphosis. So that which we have become, you know, we have to get used to it. So this is it. But there's a lot of collaboration and a lot of creativity going around right now. So there are going to be some pretty good ideas. And you may be able to grab one and run with it. And it's going to be real good, and it's probably going to pay off real well. All right, and then we get the Universe card. Four of Wands. Beautiful. Double Four of Wands coming out, which is, look, Lord of perfected work. See, it's all really paying off. And then we have this Queen of Swords. I like the Queen of Swords energy because she's very black and white. You know, she's, pun not intended, okay? She's very clear about what stays and what goes. You know, it's very obvious to a Queen of Swords what is good and what is bad, so to speak. And your ability to say, this is a good idea, I'm going to go with this one, is going to be especially heightened right now. And it could be experimental, and that's okay, and that's fun, you know, because you do have to kind of go out there and experiment, and you have to be willing to experiment and fail, okay? But look, the Universe is card number 21, which we know is the end of the cycle for the major arcana. It's also a Saturnian energy, all right? And then we have this Death card, which of course represents an ending, a substantial ending. So we have two major ending cards, which says you're coming out of something real cool. And this week and this month, probably, Pisces season altogether being the end of the Zodiac year, you know, you may feel this major turnover starting this week. And a little chaos as you adjust, a few tweaks here and there, a little bit of tinkering to get the system going back again, and then boom, there is, you know, you figure it out, you make it work, you choose a path, and then there's success in there for you. This is because you dared to dream at one point, and you are daring to dream now. And that's why these opportunities are really opening up for you, okay? Ooh, full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. Climax of the closing of the cycle as amplified by the Five of Wands. You know, whatever is going on in your life, there will be a resolution. You know, a climax is always followed by a resolution. Some of you may have a little bit of a fight with someone, you know, a little bit of a tiff, a little argument, especially if you're in a romantic partnership that might be struggling a little bit. That might be a possibility for you. You know, Five of Wands can get very competitive, can be full of triggers, you know, where people pushing buttons. There can be office politics going on. There could be sibling rivalries, all that kind of stuff. And yet, at the same time, there's really not a lot of holding back, which I think is good. It's not this whole passive-aggressive, repressed kind of energy. It's just very out there. So it can be resolved easily. So it's actually very healthy. You can get it off your chest. You can just move on and that's it. And I like the blue color because that signifies your throat chakra, which is all about communication. And with Mercury retrograde, I think a lot of us are willing to say what's been on our minds. A lot of us don't want to start a new cycle where we have set the precedent, where we're not going to be communicating what we think and what we feel, right? Like we don't want that anymore. Ooh, and then the card of Pisces for Pisces season. So a lot of these really mature cards, Universe, Death, and Pisces, all indicating an ending. So, I think you can feel it. I think that's a no-brainer. You can sense or smell it in the air that a door is being slammed shut behind you, like a never point of no return kind of deal. And the dreaminess of Pisces is kicking in. This is all about belief, right? That's the motto of Pisces, I believe. And when it comes to dreaming and it comes to visualization, it all starts with believing that it's possible. You have to believe in order to allow yourself to indulge in the thoughts, in order to indulge in the feelings that then affect your frequency, that then affect the energy around you, which determines your physical circumstances. So it's kind of this whole snowball thing. It begins with belief, believing that it's possible. And some of you may hit a roadblock right there and be like, oh my God, I don't even believe that this is possible. But see, if you have a dream and a goal and something you want to achieve in your life, the Queen of Swords energy is exactly what you want. Because you can say, does this idea, does this path lend itself to the success and the actual having or the manifestation of this dream? Yes or no? And if it's not, you don't do it and you don't waste your time. But if it is, then you can go down that path and feel secure that you're doing everything in your power to achieve that. And it's also displaying to the universe that you do believe it's possible. And because you believe, it is therefore more likely. Okay, so you have to be in a period of belief at this time. Some people won't like it. Some people will say, oh my God, you're being so delusional. You're insane. Why would you ever think that you could do that? All you got to do is just give them the big fat middle finger and just go do it anyway, right? Just say, you can think whatever you want, but that's not for me. So then we have Isis, the goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. Well, we have an Aries card, we have a Scorpio card, we have Isis. You may be feeling that creative energy or sexual energy. Some of you may be feeling super like wanting to express yourself in that way. And that's great. That's beautiful. There actually is such a thing called sex magic, where when you have an orgasm, you actually can use the power of that to manifest something. So you might as well lean into that. If you're not feeling sexual specifically, that is just creative energy that can be used in other ways, right? It can be used in brainstorming. It can be used to put together a vision board. It can be used to put together the budgets for things so you're just that much closer to the whole thing, right? Do the blueprints, whatever you got to do. All that creative energy can be channeled, all right? And it brings you back to life. I think there is a feeling of invigoration for you, right? Fiery climax with Aries, 5 of Wands, 4 of Wands, which is so beautiful. It's connected with the symbol of Venus. It's about love and passion and enjoyment of life. And then we have the polar bear, which is about our ancestors. Okay, so ancestors has been a theme for a lot of my private readings lately, and somehow it's creeping in here as well. I think a lot of these endings are indicative of a lot of endings that these generations that are existing on Earth today are ending ancestral pain, ending ancestral repression and suppression, whether it's females or people of color or any other kinds of things, religious or whatever, that people are really stepping up and they're really stepping into their power. And I feel like you guys are a big part of that. And because you are not only dreaming, but you are in fact following your dream, and you are not allowing other people, right, fiery climax in Aries and Five of Wands and all these endings, that you are allowing yourself to dream and go after those dreams, and therefore you are breaking a long lineage of people who were not able to really do that. It's important that you express gratitude at this time for being here and where you are. And I have to just point out that this is actually number 26. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's a number 26, and we know that the 2 plus 6 equals 8, and 8 is always a card of good luck and abundance, okay? So you guys are on track on something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you're doing, but you're really on track and you're doing a really kick-ass job. So just keep going, all right? There's a lot of positive energy kind of flooding into your life right now. So long as you allow it to flood in, a lot of people are going to get caught here in the death and the universe energy, and they're just going to feel like stuck, and that's okay. If you're feeling stuck, don't worry, it's temporary. But most of you, I think, are feeling like, thank God this is over. I can finally go live a passionate and fulfilled life at this point. So this is the beginning stages, all right? I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much. Take care. All right, pile number 4. You guys picked the purple aura quartz here, which is quite lovely. Your message stone is one of luck. Beautiful. So good luck in your midst at this time. Don't be afraid to lean into that. Okay, so we have the High Priestess, we have the 9 of Swords, 4 of Coins, and the 7 of Wands. Oh man, why are you so stressed? What's going on? 9 of Swords. Clearly there's something on your mind, or you're feeling a bit stuck, feeling like you have a lot of obstacles coming your way. See, the High Priestess is talking to you. She's trying to illuminate something, whether it's like you need to pursue a certain path, or you need to do a certain thing to help yourself heal, or you need to let something go, or whatever it is. Here she is, she's trying to speak to you. And usually the 9 of Swords occurs when we don't want to accept a truth that we know in our bone of bones or our heart of hearts, if we don't want to admit that it's true. And so we experience pain or anxiety, or our minds are going crazy and we can't sleep and we're feeling, you know, like really stressed at work and stuff. That's because there's clearly something that you don't want that you're hanging on to. And because you're in this place, you're going to be experiencing obstacles. Now, remember, you have luck on your side this week, which says that if you ask the universe or your higher self or God or whoever you know, your higher power, if you ask for clarity, or if you ask for a way out or something like that, that it likely will be presented to you sooner rather than later. Not saying this week, but because I don't think the universe likes it when it's beings, right? Because the universe contains many, many, many beings. We are one of them. And it doesn't like it when one of them is in such pain. You know, the universe is always trying to come into balance all the time. And if there is ever an imbalance, it will work to correct it. So here we have an imbalance. And it will work to correct it. You don't have to fight so hard, I don't think. You may feel like you're in this combative place, but you don't have to be. This is going to be a good week to just like surrender into this High Priestess energy and to just listen, right? To ask and then expect nothing, but just keep your ears open, keep your ears peeled. I suspect a lot of things in your life are gonna be like kind of the same, like work's gonna be work, family's gonna be family. It's just all just gonna be plugging along. The real power here is found in how much you're really listening to yourself. So here we have the Princess of Cups, which is like the Page of Cups, and this is the message. So when I say ask and you'll receive an answer, here she is, right here. Now the thing I love about her is that she has this beautiful dolphin energy, and the dolphin is such a symbol of creation. And we have this beautiful swan energy here, this beautiful tortoise energy, which we know tortoises can live like such a long time. So they do carry with them a wisdom, okay? So there's going to be like a deliverance of some kind. A new idea is going to come into your mind's eye, and there will be something quite transformative for you. And then we have a Queen of Cups, and then we have a Last Judgment. Boom, here it is. This is an energy of Uranus, and there is always an awakening or an illumination. All right, this is called the spirit of the primal fire, which I feel is deeply connected with the High Priestess. It's like that spark that just gets lit or ignites very, very quickly. Boom. And then all of a sudden life shifts. Now, the Queen of Cups is, of course, the deeply emotional energy. She has a heightened intuition, probably one of the most intuitive of the tarot. She is compassionate, but she's also empathic. I'm really hoping that a lot of this Nine of Swords energy is not because you are absorbing other people's energy. Hopefully, you are able to protect yourselves from other people's negativity. If you feel that maybe you are absorbing things from other people, your kind of awareness this week might be in how can I really, stop having to feel things that don't even really belong to me. And that might be spending less time with people, right? That might be cutting people off or stopping talking to them. That is your power, though. All right, you can have compassion for someone and step away from them at the same time. That is a possibility. All right. What do you need to release? Waning moon. Clearly something does need to be released. For some of you, it is a person. Pisces season is going to be a good time to clear the slate so that you can begin with Aries season by planting new seeds. Some of you, it is a job that you freaking hate, so maybe this Seven of Wands is you really going out there, getting your resume out, talking to people, connecting, communicating, doing all of your networking and all of that so that you can have a safety net and leave your job, So what do you need to do? What do you need to release? What do you need to get rid of this week? Capricorn energy is the wherewithal to actually do it. This is a cardinal energy. We have so much freaking Capricorn this week. Mars is entering, it is technically in Capricorn now. So we're going to be feeling a lot of drive just sort of coursing through our veins. So this is going to give you the wherewithal to take that new course. Because I think this is going to redirect you away from the Nine of Swords real quick. Because the Capricorn doesn't want to sit there in its own pity and its own whatever. It's like, no, let's get away from this as soon as possible. So that's going to do you a lot of favors. Plus Saturn is going to be moving into Aquarius later on in the month, on March 21st. So you may be feeling the effects of that as well. And when that happens, there's going to be a lot of strategy and a lot of really planning how to set forth these new structures, because this is all about letting go of the things that truly do not serve. Okay, Mary Magdalene, divine feminine. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. I'm sorry, can we just say High Priestess and Queen of Cups? Can we say both of these? It's just kind of coming out twice. This High Priestess energy is so potent, but it is so beautiful. But you do have to remember that it is your connection with the divine, that you truly are receiving downloads from your higher intelligence right now. And when you are experiencing that stress and anxiety and maybe even pain for many of you, you can get out of it. Nine of Swords is our own doing most of the time. It can be caused by someone else's behavior or someone else's deceit or someone else's personality, but our willingness to stay there is no one's fault but our own. So it's important that we start making the right choices, because the divine is clearly speaking to you at this time. Ooh, Red Fox, strategy. There we go. That's the strategic. How do we get out of this? How do we let go? How do we move on? And it's very clear. There's not a lot of emotion in this card here, in these cards rather. It is, let's figure it out. Capricorn energy. It is action-oriented. It's not about sitting and thinking it through. It's not about like feeling your way through. It's about doing, okay? This is going to be a good week for you to trust that good luck comes to those who believe in luck, right? The belief in luck is more important than the luck itself, all right? Time to strategize, time to figure out what needs to happen so you can get away from this Nine of Swords mindset and situation, all right? What can we do to make you happy? What can we do to help you be fulfilled, to help you live a more peaceful life, all right? It's going to be a good week. It is, I promise. A lot of potential for growth at this time. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best. Take care.